welcome to the Already Consciousness Transforming Podcast for exceptional 21st century living. Guys, we got an interesting show today. We're going to be talking about marijuana. And we're going to be talking about marijuana and meditations. We're going to be talking about marijuana and your spiritual practice. We're going to be speaking with Kerri Conner, and she's the author of two books that we're going to talk about here on the show today. And one is Wake and Bake and Meditate, Take Your Spiritual Practice to a Higher Level with Cannabis. And the second one is 420 Meditations, Enhance Your Spiritual Practice with Cannabis. And before you go like, oh, cannabis, this is just pot and all I'm going to do is get high with it. It does serve a deeper purpose if you will use it in that way. And we're going to get into that momentarily. Now, the information shared on Get Over It uses intuitive and pragmatic insight to help you shift your consciousness to break through blocks and release energy that is no longer needed. Yes, we're going to help you let go of the BS that's holding you back. But you guys know I always ask that question, are you truly ready to? And by the way, folks, BS is belief system. A bit about me for my new listeners, intuitive since birth. I'm a third generation intuitive with over 3 decades of experience supporting people to break through the blocks along their path. I'm a strategist for personal and professional transformation, revealing cutting edge information that enables you to prosper and thrive. I spent 25 successful years in corporate America as an executive sales professional, and I'm the founder of Healing Visions Ministries and the Northern California Children's Education Network, a 501c3 nonprofit. I provide consultations and healings in all areas of life that heal the mind, body, spirit connection, allowing you to live your very best life. My clients tell me that I keep it real while providing them with accurate information to assist them along their journey as a spirit living a human existence. But they also say, if you really don't want to know, don't ask Monique. My background includes a doctorate in metaphysics, Reiki master teacher, ordained minister, and clinical hypnotherapist. So whether you are stressed, depressed, or possessed, I can help. To find out more about me and the services I offer, go to my website, and that's MoniqueChapman.com, and I invite you to like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn. My guest today, Kerri Conner, is the High Priestess of the Gathering Grove, which is a family-friendly, earth-based spiritual group, and has been practicing her craft for over 35 years. And folks, she is funny as hell, just to let you know. She is the author of 9 books and is currently working on number 10. She's a graduate from the University of Wisconsin, and she earned a BA in communications. She is a cancer survivor and holds a medical marijuana card in Illinois, where she lives with her husband and son, 3 cats, and a plethora of critters. She is working to convert a portion of their land into a spiritual sanctuary. And you can check her out online, and that's KerriConner.com, KerriConnor.com. Welcome, Kerri.
Hi, thank you.
Hey, it's great to have you on. You know, you're the, I think, first show that I've done on cannabis. Always been interested in talking about it on the show, and then most authors flake at the last minute. So thank you for not flaking. I completely
No problem.
appreciate this. Cannabis, you know, people, I'm an old woman, so back in the day, you know, we used to go buy a dime bag, a nickel bag, and it was completely illegal. But, you know, I always felt better after using it. Okay, so let's talk about your Wake and Bake book and Meditate first. Why Wake, Bake, and Meditate? What are the benefits we're going to actually receive from baking?
When I say baking,
Mhm.
I mean getting baked.
Okay.
I mean, open your eyes, smoke a big bowl, and meditate. That's what the Wake, Bake, and Meditate really means. Though we do have actual recipes in here so that you can. I like to use edibles to extend a high. I can't really get high off of an edible, but because it takes so long to begin with. But it helps me extend a high. So it's really good for when you're meditating if you smoke and actually eat an edible at the same time to help you get through your meditation without losing your high. Because that can be an issue for a lot of people. I know it is for me because I'm a medical card holder. I have a very high tolerance level. And so it takes a lot to get me high. It really does.
Okay.
If I want to get high, off of flour, I'm gonna smoke an eighth easily. I mean,
Really? Wow.
oh yeah, yeah.
That's a huge book.
I have not had a day off of smoking in like 6 years, and I have
Mm-hmm.
tried to take a tolerance break.
Mm-hmm.
And because I have so many autoimmune issues, it really hurts. It really hurts. And
Mm-hmm.
I spent 13 years of my life on opioids.
Oh,
And
wow.
I did opioids, methotrexate it's a chemotherapy that they were giving me. And I was on Humira, and I was taking all of these medications, and I still hurt
Mm-hmm.
all the time. I still hurt. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
doing me any good. And so I know now what it feels like when I don't have it. And so I kind of don't want to go there again. So I've tried a tolerance break. I think I went like 3 days, and
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't get out of bed.
Wow. Well, I actually did the tolerance break, as you call it, for a month. And then I had to travel with my husband back east. And I was like in so much agony. And
Yes.
I kept trying to figure out what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong. And as I told him, I said, I figured it out. And he's like, what? I said, I don't have any weed in my system.
Yep.
And he goes, okay. He doesn't exactly buy into the concept of weed for medication, that it works that way. He just, takes it, gets high because, that's what we did back in the day. But, it's amazing how it can help. And you talk about autoimmune issues. I have them also. And folks, if you are suffering from any type of pain with autoimmune, this will help you
It's
thrive.
amazing. It
It,
is
mhm.
amazing.
It's
I
not even just wanting, right?
Yeah, they had me on so many meds. So many. It's like when I said I spent 13 years on opioids,
Oh,
we're
jeez.
talking like 5 or 6 different ones all at the same time. And that included a 100 milligram patch I wore of fentanyl that I would
Oh
change
God.
every few days. So I
Uh-huh.
mean, I was on drugs so bad for all these pain. And this was before we knew about opioid crisis. I would fall asleep driving my son to work. He would have to nudge me to keep me awake, because all of a sudden the fentanyl would hit, and then I got used to it. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's terrible. It was terrible. And I still felt pain. And I started, I'd gotten high and stuff, but I wasn't a huge smoker or anything, not of
Mm-hmm.
cannabis. I mean, I smoked in high school, but
Mm-hmm.
I did not use cannabis for pain until I was going through my cancer. And by that time, they're like, oh boy, we can't give out opioids. They're bad. And I didn't want them anyway. I didn't
Uh-huh.
want them anyway. And because I knew they weren't going to help. So I have a kid that works in the restaurant industry, and everybody knows if you want something, you go to the restaurant industry. So I
Mm-hmm.
told my kid, get me some weed.
Uh-huh.
And he went to his room and he brought it out. But
I love it.
I'm like, I know you
Absolutely.
smoke. And he's like,
Uh-huh.
no, mom, no, I don't. I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
stupid. Go
Yeah,
get me some weed.
and I can smell, so the nose still works. So, yes, we can do that. It's interesting. You
Yep.
said you were taking all those drugs for the cancer, and of course, every drug that you take also has a very negative effect on you. Where cannabis, if the
Mm-hmm.
worst effect, if you will, is you're going to feel a buzz. I have
Or the
had,
munchies.
yeah, and you can even manage the munchies if you uh
Yeah.
think about it
You
ahead
know,
of time and eat food that's not going to cause you to gain weight.
yeah. Well, I was up to 250 pounds.
Uh-huh.
And this was before I started smoking.
Uh-huh.
I lost 50 pounds once I started smoking cannabis because I could actually move.
Hmm.
Even with having the munchies, I lost 50 pounds.
Well, it can be quite motivational, especially if you utilize the sativa, which brings
Well, and
you up.
I honestly, I very seldom use a sativa.
Really?
Very
Oh.
seldom. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
very seldom. I do more when I need, in the mornings occasionally, when I try to get myself up in the morning, because I've never been a morning person. I could sleep to noon every day people would
Oh,
just let me.
you. Oh, you and my husband would get along well.
I stay up all night. I stay up all
Mhm.
night, and I just have, my body has its own rhythm. It doesn't want to go to bed till like 3, 4 a.m.
Mhm.
And I used to fight it all the time. I would just lay in bed and stare at the ceiling and toss and turn. And I decided, that's a really good time for me to be writing. So I got up
Mhm.
and I started doing my writing in the middle of the night.
Well, it obviously
Refuse.
worked for you. Do you know what
Yeah.
time you were born?
I was born, I know this somewhere. It's like 6:40, I think it was, at night.
Oh,
In the
really?
evening.
Because usually if
Yeah.
you're born like middle of the night and all that, you tend to be a night owl.
No,
Okay.
I'm just weird.
No, you're just turning into you're tuning into your natural abilities and what
Yeah, I learned to
naturally
stop fighting shit.
naturally
Like,
works for you.
that's what it is we fight so much.
Yeah.
We're told we have to do this, this, and this. And even if our bodies tell us we don't want to do that, and it doesn't, we fight it. We fight it. And when
Mhm.
we fight against it, things go wrong and we don't feel our best. So I decided to just, what it wants, it gets.
Okay.
So when it wants to stay up all night, I stay up all night.
Yeah. And you know what? If you pay attention to your body, your health is better over the long haul anyway. I finally learned that,
It is. My
So,
health is so much better than
mhm.
what it was before I got cancer. By the time I was 30, 31, I was using a walker.
Mm.
I
Okay.
couldn't walk on my own. I was using
Mhm.
a walker because I was in so much pain.
Mhm.
I slept in a reclining chair.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that was at 30, and I'm 51 now. And I'm like,
Yeah. Hey, she's here and
I mean, I'm
loosey
not going to
goosey.
go out and do cartwheels because I don't want to
Um,
break nothing.
oh, okay. So let's get some serious cannabis talk in here for a moment. When people think about utilizing cannabis, even for medical, the first thing that comes to their mind is how high am I going to get and how can I function? So if you are utilizing this medicine that they have used in like the
Mhm.
17, 16, 17, and 1800s, folks, how can you utilize it and still stay focused to either drive or get done what you need to get done?
What I always tell everybody is you have to start slow and low. It's my favorite term to use, slow and low. You
Mm-hmm.
have to know how it is going to affect you. Perfect example is I knew somebody who, she had a few hits of weed one day and she thought she knew it all, went out and bought a vape and ended up in the emergency room because vapes are far more potent. So she went from taking a few hits of probably of 20% THC flower
Mm-hmm. Oh,
to
that's low.
taking several hits off of an 80% THC and
Whoa.
vape, and she ended up in the emergency room, and she thought she was dying, and no, she was completely fine. She just had way too much and didn't know how to
Mm-hmm.
handle it.
Mm-hmm. So what
And
happens when you have way too much? Is there a way that you can back it, the sensation back down?
what I use personally is either lemon oil or coffee bean oil, and I like to alternate them. You sniff that stuff and it helps bring you out of the high. It is, I don't know why it works. It's something with the terpenes, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
My son, he did it a few weeks ago. He asked me, he goes, "Okay, mom, I don't like this stuff. I don't like how it makes me feel. What do I do?" And
Mm-hmm.
he liked the lemon oil. Coffee bean oil did not work for him. He didn't like that at all. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to use those two and go back and forth, and it brings you back down.
Okay. Is it an immediate back down or is it
Pretty much.
gradual?
Pretty much. And if you have to let it all get out of your system, because if it's not all out of your system, even if you stop, it can come back up. So you have to, like, maybe wait a few minutes and then maybe go back and forth again and sniff them some more as you feel yourself starting to come back up high again. You can
Mm-hmm.
lower yourself by sniffing this.
Okay. Now you mentioned vape, but when you're talking about the vape and the 80%, were you talking about the oils that
Yes,
is already?
concentrated. Whenever I say the word vape, I mean I am
Mm-hmm.
talking about either the concentrated oils of CBD or of THC, but generally the THC ones.
Okay. Well,
I don't vape nicotine.
Okay, I vape flower. I have a
Hmm.
Firefly, and it's very small, folks, very discreet. And you just put a little bit in a bowl, and it is convection, so
Yes.
supposedly you're not getting as much harmful
Hmm.
chemicals in your system. And I was diagnosed several years ago with spots on my lung, and since I've been utilizing the vape, they have not grown.
Oh, that's good.
So, so that, folks, if that tells you something. And actually, my
Hmm.
doctor, my medical doctor at Kaiser Permanente, huge HMO, was the one that told me to start utilizing cannabis. So it's not about just getting high all the time. It's really about helping ourselves as
People do
we.
not understand that up until 1937, cannabis was in it was in tons of our medications. It was the
Hmm.
number 4 ingredient in our medications. And it was, they screwed it up in 1937 and said, oh, hey, let's raise the taxes so that people will never pay for this. And then they outlawed it.
Hmm. And it's really a shame. But folks, if you think she's kidding, just watch an old Western like Gunsmoke. Okay. And you will see, good old Doc Adams, giving
Hmm.
out his cannabis. So how does cannabis help? We talked about autoimmune um, issues and it taking the pain away. How does it work with us psychologically so that we're not in that depressive funk that people can go to and wallow in?
Part of the reason why cannabis works, period, is because we have in our bodies what is known as an endocannabinoid system. Our
Hmm.
bodies are literally made to work with cannabis. So you have the cannabinoids in cannabis, which includes THC and CBD, and there's like 100 other ones. And we have in our body this endocannabinoid system that has what are called receptors, and there's CB1 receptors and CB2 receptors. And the cannabinoids and the receptors join together. And when they join together, the body works better. We
Hmm.
have cannabinoids in our body that are endocannabinoids, and they're starting to believe that a lot of the autoimmune issues that people have are actually issues with their endocannabinoid system. Because when
Interesting.
you bring in the cannabis and you add it to that system, those things start correcting themselves,
Hmm.
like the pain and fibromyalgia, like seizures, like headaches, all of these different things. They are finding that when we add the cannabis to the system, which might not have enough of the endocannabinoids in our bodies, it
Hmm.
fixes things.
Okay. Is there any type of cannabis, the way that it's, I guess, formulated for sale, that we should stay away from because it's not really as healthy for us?
Um, honestly, it I don't use a whole lot of the extracts that often, other than the vape. The more
Hmm.
you process something, the different it becomes from the plant. The plant is already there. It's I mean, yeah, you can use other things. You can make edibles. You can use there's things called shatter and moon rocks and all this other fun stuff. And it's all
Hmm.
concentrates. It's all concentrates that they get by doing different things to the plant and extracting everything from it. And those are pure, but they're stronger. So for people who are new to it and have no idea what they're doing, they need to stay away from it. They seriously
Hmm.
do, because when you start taking something that's really strong and you don't know what you're doing, it's not good. It's just, you're
Yeah.
not going to have a good reaction. It can really trigger anxiety, especially for people who have anxiety. And if you have a really high dose of something and it triggers your anxiety, you're going to have a really, really bad experience. And
Hmm.
then you're not ever going to want to try it again. So that's why I always tell people you have to start really with a low dose and
Hmm.
slow and see what it does for you. If it doesn't do anything for you, okay, well, then you know that doesn't do anything. Try a little more. And you keep
Hmm.
adding a little bit more. And as you go, you feel those changes that it makes in you even more by going slow and taking your time to really experience what it does for you.
Okay. Now, cannabis still, even though it's, you shared with me earlier, 38 states are embracing it, so we're getting
Yeah,
there.
I'm pretty sure we're up to 38 for medical. Yeah.
Okay. People still sometimes have a negative connotation about cannabis.
I
How,
I grew up being told it would kill me.
really?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was born in 1970, and in my family, we were told you would die if you smoked weed. And then there was an episode of Quincy, MD. Remember Quincy?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those kids smoked cannabis and they died.
Mm-hmm.
But it was laced.
Reinforcing.
It was laced in the episode, but nobody ever pointed out to me what laced even
Basement.
meant.
Yeah. Well,
They
let's
smoked
cover.
cannabis and they died. So
Oh,
I was scared of it for years. I was scared. And the first time I ever got high, I was with my friends and they were very sorry afterwards.
mm-hmm.
We went to a restaurant afterwards and I ate a
The
chocolate
menu.
cake and a Greek salad and a chocolate cake and a Greek salad and a chocolate cake followed by a Greek salad. And I mean, we spent like 2 hours there and all I did was eat. And I mean,
Oh,
my
wow.
bill was, yeah, it was
Mm-hmm.
disgusting. The entire hockey team was there watching.
Thank God we didn't
Yeah.
have TikTok back then, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm never running for president, let me tell you. But
Oh, well, actually, maybe you
it
should. Maybe
and I
that's
didn't
what
do it
they
again for
need.
years. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
didn't smoke it again for a couple years. And when I was with my first husband, we did a few times. And I didn't have a real good experience with him. And it turns out I'm actually allergic to it,
Oh.
which shouldn't surprise me because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a tree, grass, weeds, dust, mold, mildew person.
Oh, okay.
So I am actually allergic to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is funny. It means I will never ever be able to take a hit without coughing.
Okay, well, we know what your reaction is going to be. Now, you talked about lacing cannabis, and back in the day, and folks, I'm talking, boy, when she was born, I was like in my 30s. They would lace it with like Coke, or
Hmm.
they had different things that they would lace it
LSD
with.
was a big one. They would lace it a
Mm-hmm.
lot with LSD.
I never did the LSD, but I did do. I'm trying to think of what it was called. Had a cousin from. I was living in New York at the time. Cousin came from California. He bought some with him, and oh God, it had like angel dust. That's what it was, laced in it.
Oh,
And oh my God, that was an experience that if you never did cannabis previously, you might not want to do it ever again, because that was some strong shit stuff. But in your book, you talk about mixing cannabis with, uh,
herbs.
food, yeah, herbs and food grade things. Like, one that caught my eye was rose petals. What?
Yes.
Talk to us more
It,
about, the mixing.
it's when you smoke rose petals, it's very calming. But one of the biggest things you have to remember is when you're smoking rose petals, you cannot go to your florist, buy the roses and smoke them. You
Mhm.
have to get food grade rose petals because otherwise the ones they use at a florist are filled with chemicals. They're filled with fertilizers. Some of them are covered in glues and you can't even tell.
Mm.
They're dyed. There are all kinds of stuff that happens to flowers at a florist. Don't
Mhm.
snoop doos.
Mm-mm.
There's a lot of places online or, like new age shops always have them, but you can get a lot of food grade herbs from places. And rose petals are very calming.
Mhm.
I like when I use I usually mix the rose petals with lavender,
Okay.
and that's nice.
Does it alter the smell?
It does alter the smell. It does alter the smell a little bit. And if there's, a lot of different types of cannabis taste different, and there's some they just be nasty. Honestly, I'll pick
Mhm.
something up new from the dispenser. I'm like, oh, that just tastes gross.
Mhm.
So you throw something good in it, some lavender, some mint, whatever, and it really helps the taste. I mean, not all of them are bad, but if it can really change the taste. In the fall, thyme. I love to add some thyme into it. And
Mhm.
it's such a rich, flavorful, and it gives you it kicks up the high. Thyme actually kicks up the high. And
Oh, really?
yes, and it's because of the terpenes that are in thyme. So it's kind of cool. It's like you can learn all about these different terpenes, and terpenes are the things that give it the flavor and the scent. Basically, they are the oils that give it flavor and scent. So when you add different terpenes to different things, not only do you change the taste, but they kind of boost things differently. If I don't know if you've ever heard this, but it works. Mango. If you eat a mango or drink mango juice, pure mango juice, not watered down stuff, while you're smoking, it will both extend your high, and it will let you go higher because it actually boosts it.
So is it just the juice, or can you eat a mango when that happens?
Yeah, no, the mango itself, because it's the terpenes that are in the mango, and I cannot remember for the life of me which one it is. I think it begins with an M.
Okay.
It begins with an M. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, no, that's informative to know. So when we're working with cannabis and we're using it for meditation, walk us through a process. Okay. So we're sitting here, we're two girls, we're just hanging out, and we decide that we're going to do a meditation, and we're going to, I'm going to call it enhanced meditation. So what would we do?
I do two different types. And that's why I have literally two different books. The 420 meditations, when I do a daily meditation, I do a lot of them in my bed, even though I have like all these different meditation areas set up. I'm just lazy.
You're real. Okay.
I am. I have a room, but I'm lazy. I will start with smoking flower, and I will usually smoke probably 2 bowls. I'll smoke 2 bowls, and then I'll have a few hits of my vape, and then I will do my meditation. That is for a daily meditation, and those are the type that are in my 420 book. The wake, bake, and meditate are different types of meditations. These are for your much deeper and what we call a peak experience meditation. And those are for when if I'm doing those, I really load up, and I will take edibles ahead of time. I will keep my vape on hand while I'm meditating, because I'm at the point where I can be meditating and just take hits from my vape and not even realize I'm doing it, kind of.
Okay.
Just kind of get into that flow that when you're doing it. But when I am doing a deep meditation like that, it's always weird to me, because I always feel like I've been in it for maybe an hour or so. And it's 15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I get to that point. I get so high, I lose time. And that's kind of what a peak experience is when you hit the point where everything else disappears.
Well, that's kind of where you want meditation to take you. But what about protection? Because, when you're out there, your soul is out there, spirit, whatever you want to call it, doesn't it need to be protected to a certain degree? And does cannabis lower that protection?
I do not feel it lowers my protection at all.
Okay.
If anything, to me, when I do it, it seems to me, I feel like I'm in a bubble. It kind of like, I feel like I'm in a bubble, and I don't know if I do that myself or if the cannabis does that. Now that you say that, I've never really thought about it, but I do really feel like I am very protected in a bubble. But at the same time, it's like the things I want to be able to come through do. But I haven't had a bad experience meditating, honestly. The first few times I hit a peak experience, it wasn't on purpose. I had no idea what was happening. I'm just like, I was chilling in the hot tub, and the next thing I knew, I felt like I was floating in space, literally just floating in space. And then Ganesh showed up, and that was a little strange.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. I was I felt like there was an elephant in the hot tub with me, and dude, we talked.
And
yeah.
What insights did you receive? Because to me, when I go there, I receive all types of insights.
Yes, constantly. That's where I have received so many insights. When I first had cancer, Ganesh was my dude, because he goes through obstacles, and it was the first time I had ever worked with them was when I was going through cancer. And this was a couple years later that I'm in the hot tub. And I mean, it was so strange to me because I could smell. I could smell that there was something very masculine and animalistic. And that was my first sign of like, what is going on here? What am I doing? And like, this is weird. This is weird. And I've gotten to the point in my life where I used to be, and this is because when I was a kid, I had things happen and I would get scared and hide and stop whatever it was that was happening. Now I'm like, this is cool. What's happening? Let's go. I want to see more. And Ganesh showed up and we chatted and I thanked him for his help during the cancer. And he was just cool. And I've had other deities show up that way, and they always come with something. A lot of times, I mean, this is how I had my brother tell me something on my 50th birthday that really threw me for a loop. And he thought I knew, and it was about stuff that had happened when we were kids. And it was after that I really started working a lot more and saying, okay, what happened? What is the stuff that I don't remember? And when I go into a deep meditation, somebody will show up and be like, you remember this? And they'll start talking to me about something, and they will walk me backwards until I remember exactly what started it all. And I have had that happen to me now so many times. And I mean, it's a form of shadow work. It's a form of shadow work. And I think the cannabis has really helped me to get there, to be able to do it like that, because I couldn't before. I mean, I had such a hard time meditating without cannabis. It was terrible. It was absolute. I couldn't do it. I can't sit still. I go crazy.
Well,
I can't do it.
Okay, so tell us about your connection with the Gathering Grove, because as grounded as you are, and folks, I don't know, you should be able to tell she's really earthy. Okay, and she's grounded. She's light and fun, but she's really earthy. So tell us about the Gathering Grove. What's that about?
The Gathering Grove. I originally got together with 4 friends back in 2003. 3 friends. There was 4 of us all together, and we celebrated Mabon together, and it was our first group ritual ever. And for about a year, it was just 4 of us, and then we slowly started having people join in, and we decided we needed a name. And one of the people pointed out that we gathered in the grove.
Okay.
We're all like, you're right. So we became the Gathering Grove.
Hey, it works. You took your truth, right?
We've been doing rituals now since 2003. We have had, sometimes our rituals, like they're small, 4 people. We've had up to 40 people at other times. We have all kinds of stuff out on the land that I've been working on changing. We have ritual areas outside. We have what we call the Inner Grove ritual area, which is where one of our original first ritual areas was, and it's back in the woods. We have woods on our land, which we didn't have when I moved here. When I moved here, our property was all mowed. And in the past 20 years, I have changed it to where we have a forest.
Wow.
We have our own woods, and I cut paths. I always put a path through the grass before any trees started popping up, and I just let everything else grow. And so now we have all these paths that go through the woods, and they lead to our ritual area, and they lead to the chicken graveyard. and we have a maple area. We have
okay, wait a minute. The chicken graveyard.
Yeah, we raise chickens.
Oh, okay.
So when one of them leaves us, we have about 40 chickens buried in our backyard.
Okay.
If there's ever a zombie apocalypse and they come out of the ground, I am so in trouble. But yeah, there'll be a whole army of chickens coming after me. But yeah, we have a whole bunch of them buried back there, and we have our full moon maple commons. We have our own maple, and This year for Samhain, we did it in purple and orange, and we had the whole area lit by candles and pumpkins, and it was a lot of fun. And we have an outer grove ritual area, and we have the spiral labyrinth. And yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on here.
Oh, sounds like a lot of fun. Now, do you ever work with folks online, or is it just all in person at your property?
We started working online during the pandemic last year. And we actually just had a meeting last night online to start setting up more stuff for the winter, basically to do online so that we're not all in the house.
Yes, it's important to get out there and get that fresh air.
It is. We did do some rituals last year outside in December.
A little chilly where you're at.
I'll tell you what though, when you mask in December, because I'm in northern Illinois. So I mean, like today, let me see, what is it? Right now it's 44 degrees outside. Yeah.
Okay.
So when we were hitting like, 10 degrees and we're going outside to do a ritual, we had masks they're like the double fabric. Ooh, they keep your face warm, mask quickly. It was so weird. I mean, it's really cold out. We're all standing in this circle and we realized you couldn't see anybody's breath. It was really
but you were warmer,
Yeah, it helped to keep us warmer. So like masks are great. I love them.
Yeah, well, helps me save on makeup. You just put on the mask and
you save on makeup. Nobody tells you to smile.
You don't know if they're doing it or not. So, unless they look at the eyes. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to look at your eyes. So let me ask you this. For the meditation, are there any particular strains that you utilize, or is it whatever you feel at the moment?
For me, if I'm meditating, I have to use an indica for sure. Definitely use indicas, unless I do like to do like, I don't know if I call them meditations, but it's more like a dance meditation where I'll put on some like chanty type of music, and then I'll use a sativa mixed with indicas. I'll alternate. But if I can get my hands on anything that's a kush, those are usually better for me for meditating. And my favorites will always be Northern Lights and Alien Rock Candy.
Boy, it's hard to find them. I'm in California, and this is like the world of the land of the plenty, right? And they keep coming up with new strains, which is good, but
yeah, I my goal is someday, I think it would be awesome if somebody would open a dispensary that only sold weed that was named after movies.
Okay.
Have you seen it? There's like all these kind of Star Wars ones. And see, and that's just it. They're going crazy coming up with all these new ones that they're not necessarily growing the oldies but goodies anymore. And I do enjoy some of the new ones, but I would love to be able to find some of the older strains that I just can't find around here anymore.
Yeah, well, I think you can't find them a lot of places. And if you actually, folks, do your research and you find out what works for a particular situation, and then you go try to find it, you can't find it, you become more frustrated. And then you almost lose faith that, the new ones, the newbies are going to work because you just, it's not tried.
I just realized there was one I've had, my son too. We both had, it was Black Afghan OG. And it made both of us really paranoid.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, I just remembered that one. We don't buy that one no more. Neither one of us liked it. Both of us, and it's a regular indica strain, but both of us got really paranoid feelings from it. And boy, that's a whole lot of fun when both you and your kid are paranoid.
You're both running. I could see the visual, but I just won't describe it. Well, I found that it's trial and error, and what works for me might not work for you or someone else, especially when it comes to alleviating the pain. I make my own salve. I bought one of those Novas so that you can decarb it, so it's not stinking up your house.
I have one of those, and a magical butter machine. Do you have a magical butter machine?
I do, but I can't figure out how to work it. I've had it for 4 years now, and it's still sitting in the closet.
My granddaughter's other grandma bought me one for Christmas a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
They're fun.
You get people that are open to it, and I hope that seriously, I hope that people can get past the stigma that the government has put on this medication
And
for
that's what
all
it
these
is. Have
years.
you ever actually watched that movie Reefer Madness?
No, no,
Oh
let
my,
me write
I
it
had
down.
never watched it. And my son's like, oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. And I don't even remember how he found it somewhere.
Uh-huh.
It is, oh my gosh, the things that they claimed that cannabis would make you do. It was
Uh-huh.
insane. And it was a government propaganda film. You get the chance, watch it just to see what they were telling people and about
Okay.
how it make you this crazed, murderous lunatic and all this stuff. It
Mm.
serious. The movie is crazy, and the movie was made by the government
To
as
stop.
propaganda to stop
Hmm.
people from,
Because
yeah,
the pharmaceutical industry couldn't figure out how to utilize cannabis in a way that they could profit from. I had a neighbor who had neck surgery, and we were talking about, using cannabis. And he goes, "Oh, I'll just get those pills from the doctor. It's, um, cannabis, but it's in pill form."
yes, yes, I know what
And
you're talking about. Yep.
I can't think of the name of it right
I
now.
can't either, but I do know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, and he said, "You know what?" He goes, his words, "That shit don't work." He goes, "You got any flour?" And gave it to him, and he was fine. He didn't take any of the narcotics that they gave him. He was absolutely fine.
I don't
So,
think a lot of people don't understand that one of the big reasons that cannabis became illegal, it had nothing to do with the effects.
mhm,
It was partly the DuPonts and who was the Hearst family, people who were in the lumber industry, the paper industry,
mhm,
and petroleum did not want hemp and cannabis around
hmm,
because guess what you can make out of hemp? All the things that you can make out of wood and petroleum.
mhm,
So it would have lost them tons of money if hemp had kept being used for things. And they made large donations. They got appointments into federal positions and they
mm.
made cannabis illegal.
Wow.
Yeah,
Also, that they could save their profits. It's
they
truly
could save,
amazing.
so they could save their necks. And
Mhm.
then they were also able to use it as a way to control people of color.
Yeah, yeah, because it was definitely plentiful in the black neighborhoods, but you could also go to jail for
Yeah,
9,000 years because you sold a joint. So it was really interesting.
yeah.
Kerri, when we go to your website, kerriconnor.com,
Hmm. Yes.
KerriConnor.com, what are we going to find there
You're
besides your
gonna
beautiful purple hair?
my papa hair. Let's see. There is the shop link takes you to my Etsy where I have a bunch of fun stuff. You can get copies of some of my books there.
Hmm.
There's links, I believe, to like my social media pages.
Hmm.
I have a couple different like affiliate links. Those are the places that I like to shop.
Hmm.
There's information there, a little bit about the Gathering Grove and the Spiral Labyrinth. The Spiral Labyrinth, we have like a Facebook page, and during the warmer months of the year, we do full moon dances out in the Spiral,
Hmm.
where women come out. We have a bonfire and we dance, drink
Hmm.
wine. That's kind of fun under the moon.
Uh-huh. Dancing naked under the moon.
No, because the neighbors
Aw.
might freak out a little bit about that. The neighbors are pretty good. I mean, I will admit, I have neighbors that have lived next to us the entire time my husband's been here. He built this house 36 years ago, and I've been here now for 22 years. The
Hmm.
neighbors have been here that entire time. They are a very wonderful Christian family. And when she found out about me, I had already been here for several years first, and she had a lot of questions. She did. She had a lot of questions, and I was, open with her. I answered all of her questions, and
Hmm.
she still, drops off a flyer from her church every now and then. But
Hmm.
she has seen us do plenty of rituals in the backyard. She has seen us dance out there, and she don't care. So I like her.
Yay. She's
I like her.
open-minded. So
Yep.
yay.
Yeah.
Because that can
And
so not.
and she's in her 70s by now. I'm sure she's got to be up in her later 70s. She might even be 80 by now. She's
Hmm.
got great grandchildren, and she still rides her bike every day, and
Oh,
she's okay with it. We have other neighbors on the other side that he will not speak to me and he's scared I'm going to curse him.
Well,
I like it like that too.
Oh, I was going to say, well,
He's kind of the jerk of the neighborhood. So, I mean, he's definitely the jerk of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it's okay that he's scared of me.
Yeah, because that keeps them out of your space. And sometimes people don't realize, how that works, but it definitely keeps out of your space. So, Kerri, are you open to working with people like for consultations if they have questions, or is this strictly? Okay.
Definitely. And I am honestly, if you can contact me on any of my social media. I know a lot of people don't answer I do.
Novel concept, have a business and she actually pays attention. Okay.
I mean, I honestly, I think I know how much I have benefited from being able to use cannabis, not only from a physical and a mental and a spiritual aspect, but I've been able to write about it. So, I mean, financially, even now, too. So, yeah, do I think I should share what I've learned with others and help them? Oh, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I have the obligation to at this point.
Okay. Well, folks, check her out at Kerri Conner. .com. That's KerriConnor.com. Get the books. I mean, if you're interested in 420 and how it can enhance your spiritual experience and actually your mundane experience right here on earth, get the book and experiment a little bit. And then unless you are well versed, do it, stay home or stay in a safe container, so to speak. Don't get behind the wheel of a car. It's kind of like alcohol. You don't.
Partners are a great thing too. I talk about that in Wake, Bake, and Meditate, is having a partner.
And it's important that you respect the herb and the herb will respect you back. But if you are suffering with any type of pain or neurological, I'll say that 3 times fast, issue, it does help you. Okay, so do your investigation before you poo-poo it. Do your investigation before you think it's just about getting high. Just, it's a medication. And if you utilize it as a medication, it will work for you. So, Kerri, one word of wisdom. Well, more than one word, but what's your word of wisdom for us before you go today?
My biggest one is always going to be the same one, is when you're starting this, just start slow and low and pay attention. It's amazing how much you can learn about yourself while you are learning about using cannabis.
Oh, okay. So remember that, folks, slow and low. Okay, I actually like that slogan there, slow and low. So thank you, Kerri, for being with us today. And thank you to the audience.
Thank you.
You're welcome for putting up with us as we jiggle our way through cannabis and gave you some hard facts at the same time. And I want everybody to remember that the most important choice that you can make is what you choose to make important. Consider making the masterful choice of exploring cannabis for all the help that it can give to you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Abundant blessings, light, and love to all. Agape.